This year, nation will rise against nation. Most of them will try to wage war against each other in the sea.
Greetings to you viewers all over the world. This is God Voice TV channel. Welcome to the House of Ethio, a spirit from God. On January 1st, 2026, the man of God, Prophet Favor Ethio, gave a prophetic word to the nations stating there will be war in the sea. Let us listen to how this came to pass in America and Iran 2 months later after the prophecy was given.
This year, nation will rise against nation. Each of these, most of them will try to wage war against each other in the sea, dragging for territories. We should begin to pray.
We begin with a major escalation between the US and Iran, just days before the end of a fragile ceasefire between the two sides. The United States has seized an Iranian vessel in the Gulf of Oman after opening fire to disable its passage. And now Tehran is vowing retaliation, calling the incident armed piracy and accusing Washington of shattering the ceasefire set to end on April 22nd.
Well, the Strait of Hormuz has effectively gone silent. After a brief surge in vessel movement on Saturday, commercial shipping traffic dropped to zero by Sunday. At least 13 oil tankers attempting to exit the Persian Gulf turned back mid-route. Well, this comes after reports of gunfire incidents involving commercial vessels near the Omani coast, including one tanker being fired upon and another hit by a projectile. Iran initially signaled the strait was open during the ceasefire window, prompting a rush of ships, but quickly reversed its position after the US refused to lift its naval blockade on Iranian-linked vessels.
This breaking news is from Iran. Iran's state broadcaster, the IREB, says that 2 Indian vessels were forced back as they were trying to make their way through the Strait of Hormuz. It added that firing was involved in turning the ships back. IRIB, or IRIB, says that one of the 2 Indian vessels was a VLCC supertanker, which was carrying 2 million barrels of oil from Iraq. These developments come in the wake of Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz once again. On Friday, Iran had announced that the strait was open for transit for some commercial vessels. Tehran said it had allowed this after a ceasefire had been secured in Lebanon. President Trump had welcomed the news, but he said that the US would not be lifting its blockade of Iranian ports. The US Navy has been preventing ships from sailing to and from ports in Iran. Trump claimed that the US would lift its blockade after a peace deal was finalized with Iran. Iran has reacted by closing the strait again within a day. Tehran says that the strait will remain closed until the US lifts its naval blockade. The British Maritime Security Agency says the tanker's captain reported being approached 37 kilometers northeast of Oman by 2 gunboats of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps without any radio warning. The tanker and the crew are reportedly safe. Authorities are investigating this incident. The development comes as Iran's new leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, said the army was ready to inflict new bitter defeats on the United States and Israel.